Vandeham Sri Guru Sri
I
Yuta
think I muted.
Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Visakhan Vitanscha. So, continuing with Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta, Madhya Lila, chapter 22, continuing with Sanatana Shiksha, Sri Chaitanya's teachings to Sanatana Goswami. So we're beginning the chapter, so there's an invocation. Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Tam Karunarnavam Kalavapyatti Gudeyam Bhakti Yena Prakashita, by whom this most profound bhakti was manifested in the Kali age. I bow down to that Sri Krishna Chaitanya, an ocean of mercy. Joyo Joyo, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Joyo, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Glory, glory to Sri Krishna Chaitanya and to Nityananda. Glory to Advaita Chandra and the hosts of Gaura Bhaktas. Chaitanya continued. Thus has been explained the truth about Sambandha, according to the instructions of the Vedas and Shastras. Krishna is the single essence. Now listen, and let me tell you of the characteristics of the Abhideya, from which we gain Krishna, and the wealth of Krishna Prema, of the wealth of Prema of Krishna. All the Shastras speak of Krishna Bhakti as the Abhideya. Thus the sages have ascertained. There's a shloka. Srutir Mata Prishta Dishati Bhavadara Aradana Vidhi Yatha Maturvani Smritirapi Tatha Bhakti Bhagini Puranadya Yeva Sahaja Nivahasti Tad Anuga Ata Satyam Jnanam Murahara Bhavan Eva Sharanam. Mother Shruti was asked and responded concerning the manner of worship of you. The words of the mother were also those of the sister Smriti and all the Puranas, like brothers. It doesn't say that there, but they missed that out. Which as kinsmen follow it. O holder of the flute, thus you alone are truly known as the refuge. So Murahara has got nothing to do with the flute. It's Murari, killer of the Muradini. The truth of non-dual knowledge is that Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, situated in the form of Swarupa Shakti. His own Angsa and separated Angsas permeate and sport in the infinite Vaikunthas and Brahma worlds. The permeation of his own Angsa is the Chaturvyuhas and the Avataras, and the separated Angsas, the Jivas, are among his Shaktis. These separated Angsas, Jivas, are of two kinds. One is eternally free, the other is habitually bound in samsara. The eternally free always have their faces turned upward toward the feet of Krishna. They are called Krishna's followers. They enjoy the happiness of service. Those habitually bound ones always have their faces turned away from Krishna. They suffer continual passage through samsara and the miseries of hell. Because of their faults, the pisachis of Maya torment them. They afflict them deeply, immersing them in the spiritual and other torments. They are slaves to lust and anger and receive the blows of their feet. And if in their wanderings they find a holy man physician, by the mantras of his commands, they drive the pisachis away, and they gain Krishna bhakti and then go near Krishna. So then there's another shloka from Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3 to 25. Kamadinam katina katidha palita durnidesha stesham jata mayi na karuna natrapa no pashanti utsrijaitan at yadupati sampratam labda buddhi stam ayata sharanam abhayam mam niyungshatmadasye. I received many kinds of evil commands from desire and the rest, but I have not obeyed them. But they have not been kind to me, and neither compassion nor shame has come to me. O eternal Yadupati, now I have come to realize that having left behind me all those things, I have gained you, the refuge, the fearless one. Take me as your servant. So Krishna Bhakti is primary among Abhideyas. Karma, yoga, and jnana, these look towards the face of Bhakti. But all these sadhanas yield most worthless fruit, for without Krishna Bhakti, they have not the power to give. And so it is said, Naiskaramyamapyachuta bhava varjitam nashopati jnanamalam niranjanam kuta puna shaswata bhadramishware nacharpitam karma yadapyakaranam. Naiskarmya, even when unattached and pure, when it is devoid of emotion for God, does not gain the full glory. The less so karma, which is always bad, and even that karma which is selfless, if it is not offered to Ishvara. And again, tapasvino dhanapara yashashvino manashvino mantravida sumangalaha kshemam na vindanti vinaya darpanam tasmai subhadra shravashe namo namaha. It doesn't have the Bengali in between them in this one. So there are ascetics of great power and generous men, and those who have offered the sacrifice, and yogins, and those who know the mantras, and those who do all good deeds. But if they do not offer these to him, they will gain no auspicious result. That is the famous blessing, and I bow to him. Jnana alone, without bhakti, cannot give mukti. But for those whose faces are turned towards Krishna, that mukti comes without jnana. Another verse from Bhagavad Purana. Shreya sritim bhakti mudasyate vibho klishyanti ye kevala bodha labdaye teshamasho kleshala eva shishyate nanyadyatha sthula tusavaghatinam. O all-pervading one, to those who, abandoning bhakti to you as the way of realization, toil in the acquiring of wisdom, nothing else remains but anguish. They are like threshers of solid chaff. And in Bhagavad Gita, Dairi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante mayam etan tarantite. This divine Maya, consisting of three gunas, is certainly hard to escape. Those who take refuge in me can overcome this Maya. The jiva forgets that he is the eternal servant of Krishna, and it is because of that fault that Maya seizes him by the throat. For him who worships Krishna and serves the Guru, the trap of Maya flees away and he gains the feet of Krishna. If one who is a believer in the four Varnas does not worship Krishna, though he does his own work, he is plunged into hell. And the verse from the Bhagavad, Mukha bahuru padebhyaha purushasya saha chatvaro jaggiri varna punayirvipradaya pritak ya esham purusham shaksha atma prabhavam ishwaram nabhajanti avajananti sthanad brasthaha patanti adaha, which means by means of gunas, each of the four varnas, twice born and the rest, are born respectively from the mouth, arms, thighs, and feet of the Purusha, together with the ashrams. Those among them who do not worship Ishvara Purusha as their own fathers and despise him are hurled from their own places and fall below. The Gyanis consider, we have gained the condition of Jivan Mukta, but in truth, perception is not pure without Krishna Bhakti. And so we have another verse. Yene ravindaksha vimuktamanina stayasta bhavad avishuddha buddhayah ahuya krichrena param padam tataha patantyato nadrita yusmadangraya. Lotus-eyed one, those who, devoid of bhakti towards you and therefore of impure mind, consider themselves as free, with great difficulty gain the high place, and having disrespect for your feet, they fall from there. Krishna is like the sun. Maya is the darkness. Wherever Krishna is, Maya does not control that. And in the Bhagavatam it is said, you know that is Krishna Surya Sama Maya hoy andaka jaha Krishna taha nahi mayar adhikar vilajyamanaya yasya sthanam ikshapati muya vimohita vikathanti mamam iti durdiyaha. That is, those who are ashamed to remain on the path of vision of him. The bad translation, I'll just read the one we got here. The external illusory energy of Krishna, known as Maya, is always ashamed to stand in front of Krishna, just as darkness is ashamed to remain before the sunshine. However, that Maya bewilders unfortunate people who have no intelligence. Thus they simply boast that this material world is theirs and that they are its enjoyers. Krishna, I am yours. If one says this once, Krishna rescues him from the bondage of Maya. And so it is famously said, Sakradeva prapanno yastavasiti chayachati abhayam sarvada tasmai dadamye tad vratam mama. It is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours, and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. From Ramayana. Those who are desirous of bhukti, mukti, or siddhi, if they are wise, worship Krishna, profoundly immersed in bhakti. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param whether one desires everything or nothing, or whether he desires to merge into the existence of the Lord. He is intelligent only if he worships Lord Krishna by rendering transcendental loving service. He who is desirous of other things, if he worships Krishna, even though he might not ask for them, Krishna grants him his own feet. Krishna says, he worships me. He asks for the happiness of material things. Abandoning nectar, he asks for poison. This is most stupid. How can I, knowing this, give worldly things to this fool? Giving him the nectar of my own feet, I shall make him forget material things. And the verse is, Satyam disatyartitamartito nrina naivarta do yat punarartita yataha swayam vidhatte bhajatam anichatam ichhapidanam nijapada pallavam. Whenever Krishna is requested to fulfill one's desire, he undoubtedly does so, but he does not award anything which, after being enjoyed, will cause one to petition him again and again to fulfill further desires. When one has other desires but engages in the Lord's service, Krishna forcibly gives one shelter at his lotus feet, where one will forget all other desires. He who worships Krishna in regard to desires, did I read that one? Yeah. While wandering in samsara, some fortunate ones are saved, just as a stick in the current of a river sometimes strikes the bank. And so in the Bhagavad Purana, Sthana bilasi tapasistitoham twang praptavan deva munindra guhyam kacham vichinmannapi divyaratnam swamin kritartosmi varam nayache. That's not in this one that we've got. Anyway, I'll read it. When he was being blessed by the Lord, Dhruva said, O Lord, because I was seeking an opulent material position, I was performing severe types of penance and austerity. Now I have gotten you, who are very difficult for the great gods, saints, and kings to attain. I was searching after a piece of glass, but instead I have found a most valuable jewel. Therefore I am so satisfied that I do not wish to ask any benediction from you. Anyway, while wandering, I read that. So this sloka, we don't have it in this one here. No, it cannot be that a low man like me sees a tutor, but sometimes, drifting in the river of time, are rescued. Certain ones, fortunate, look forward to the destruction of samsara, and then, in the company of holy men, love for Krishna grows. And so, the verse in the Bhagavad, Bhavapavargo brahmato yada bhave janasya taryatyuta satsamagamaha satsangamo yarhi tadaiva sadagato paravareshi tvayijayati rati. O Achyuta, when the wandering person reaches the end of his suffering in the world, then he goes with true men. When in the company of true men is gained the only way of holy men to the Lord of high and low, the proper attitude toward you is born. If Krishna is gracious to some fortunate one, he himself teaches in the form of the indwelling Guru. Another quote. Yadrichaya mat kathado jata shraddhasta tu yahuman na nirvinno nati shakto bhakti yogosya siddhidaha. The verses are different, so I'll just read what we've got here. Lord, not in a lifetime as long as Brahma do the poets diminish their ample joy as they dwell upon your feet. O Lord, you are embodied in the Acharya or temple internal and external. You drive off and make distant inauspicious things of the embodied and make manifest your own cause. But what it says is actually a little different to that. But anyway, he's saying you appear both as the Guru outside and as the Paramatma inside. If one is a believer in bhakti of Krishna, in the company of holy men, then the fruit of bhakti is prema, and samsara is destroyed. And so in the Bhagavad 11:28, there are those people who by some good fortune become believers in me and talking of me and so on. But they are not indifferent to the world, nor completely devoted. Their bhakti yoga is ultimately successful. Bhakti does not come about by any karma except for grace of great men. Krishna bhakti remains at a distance and samsara is not destroyed. So now the verse, famous verse. Rahuganita tapasana yati nachetjaya nirvapanat grihat va nachandasa naiva jalagni suryair vina mahat padarajobhishekam. O King Rahugana, without taking upon one's head the dust from the lotus feet of the pure devotee, one cannot attain devotional service. Devotional service is not possible to attain simply by undergoing severe austerities and penances, by gorgeously worshipping the deity, or by strictly following the rules and regulations of the sannyasa or grihastha order, nor it is attained by studying the Vedas, submerging oneself in water, or exposing oneself to fire or scorching sunlight. And again, on a similar strain, Naisham Atistavadurukkramangri Sprisatyanarthapagamo Yadartha Mahiyasang Padarajobhishekam Niskinsananam Na Vinita Yavat. Unless human society accepts the dust of the lotus feet of great Mahatmas, devotees who have nothing to do with material possessions, mankind cannot turn its attention to the lotus feet of Krishna. Those lotus feet vanquish all the unwanted, miserable conditions of material life. All the Shastras repeat, the company of sadhus, the company of sadhus. By the merest fraction of company with sadhus, all is attained. Sadhu sanga sarva shastri koi. Lavamatro sadhu sangi sarva siddhi hoy. A lover is an 11th of a second. Tulayama davinapi naswargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim mutashisha. Another verse from the Bhagavatam. The value of a moment's association with a devotee of the Lord cannot be compared even to the attainment of the heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which is for those who are meant for death. Krishna, full of mercy, showed it to Arjuna. By his counsel, he preserved the world. And then Krishna says in the Gita, Sarva guhyatamam bhuyaha srinu me paramam vachaha ishtosi me dridhamti tato vakshyamte hitam manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishashi satyante pratijani priyosi me. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this, because you are my very dear friend. His previous commands had been about Vedic Dharma, Karma, Yoga, and Dhyana, and having finished those, he gave this instruction, as just stated. If bhaktas believe by the power of this instruction, then they abandon all karma and worship Krishna. And so it is said in the Bhagavatam, Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeta javata mat katha shravanadova shraddhayavan najayati. As long as one is not satiated by fruitive activity and has not awakened his taste for devotional service by Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, or hearing Katha, one has to act according to the regulative principles of Vedic injunctions. By the word faith, he means a very profound belief, and if one performs Krishna Bhakti, all karma is automatically performed. And again, in the Bhagavatam, it is said, Yatha taror mula nishechanena tripyanti tat skanda bujopashaka pranopaharacha yathendriyanam tathaiva sarvarhanam achyutedya. By pouring water on the root of the tree, one automatically satisfies the trunk, branches, and twigs. Similarly, by supplying food to the stomach, where it nourishes the life air, one satisfies all the senses. In the same way, by worshipping Krishna and rendering him service, one automatically satisfies all the gods. One who has faith is the chief of bhaktas. The gradations of faith are highest, middle, and least. He who has profound faith is very learned in the Shastras. He is the highest of adepts. He is rescued from samsara. And so it is said, Shastri yukto cha nipunaha sarvatha dridha nischaya prodha shrabdho dikariyaha sa bhaktav uttamo mataha. From Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. One who is expert in logic and in understanding the revealed scriptures, and who always has firm conviction and deep faith that is not blind, is to be considered a topmost devotee in devotional service. He who has a profound faith but does not know the injunctions of the Shastras, he is greatly fortunate and is called a middle adept. Sarva, no, so this verse, where is it? Yah Shastradishu Annipunaha Shraddhavan Sa tu Madhyamaha. He who does not know scriptural argument very well, but who has firm faith, is called an intermediate or second-class devotee. Abandoning the company of untrue people, these are the actions of a Vaishnava. And one who keeps the company of women is unholy and is not a bhakta of Krishna. In the Bhagavad it is said, I'll stop reading those now, and then I'll stop shortly. As from association with women and from association of those who are associated with women, man is fruitlessly deluded, which does not arise from association with others. And again, Bhagavad Purana 3:31, 33, and 34. As from association with whom truth, purity, compassion, silence, wisdom, modesty, beauty, fame, patience, tranquility, self-control, prosperity are destroyed, you should not keep company with unholy people, those who are restless in desire, foolish, impure, whose self is split up, and those who, like deer, sport with women. In Hari Bhakti Vilas it is said, being in the middle of a cage of flames of fire is preferable to the pain of association with those whose faces are averted from thinking on Sauri. And again, another shloka. One should nowhere look toward men of tiny virtue who are devoid of bhakti for Bhagavan. Abandoning all this and the Varnashrama Dharma, one should become indifferent to the world and take refuge only in Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. Abandon all the laws and instead seek shelter with me alone. Be unconcerned. I shall set you free from all evils. He is affectionate to his bhaktas, all-knowing, powerful, generous. Leaving this Krishna and worshipping someone else is not wise. In the Bhagavad it is said, what wise man will go for shelter but to you, who are loving to your bhaktas, true-spoken, friendly, grateful? You, who neither increase nor decrease, grant to the man of pure heart, the worshipper, all desired things, even yourself. If the wise man knows the qualities of Krishna, he abandons all others and worships him. Uddhava is proof of this. In the Bhagavad it is said, how wonderful that he whom the evil Bhakti desired to kill by causing him to suck at her nipples smeared with poison, obtained the way appropriate to a wet nurse. Should I take refuge in anyone merciful other than him? The sign of him who is free from attachment, who has taken refuge in Krishna, is that the dedication of self has entered within him. In Gopal Bhatta Goswami's Hari Bhakti Vilas, it is said, of desire to serve by the abandonment of antagonism, by the faith that he will protect me, and accepting him as protector, by the dedication of the self and compassion. These are the 6 modes of refuge. I am yours, by saying this in speech, and by knowing it with the mind, and taking refuge in his place with the body, the man who has taken refuge experiences bliss. So many quotes. He who takes refuge and dedicates himself to Krishna, Krishna makes him like himself in due time. It is said in the Bhagavad, when a mortal leaves all karma and dedicates himself to me, then I wish to change him. He gains immortality and is fit to become like myself. And now, O Sanatan, hear the characteristics of sadhana bhakti, from which is gained the great wealth of Krishna prema. So it is said by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The name sadhana refers to that by which the object to be realized is apprehended and produced. This object is the manifestation in the heart of an eternally pure emotion. The performance of Shravana and the rest, hearing, these are the Swarupa signs of it. It's intrinsic. The wealth of prema is born in the Tatashta signs. Margin. Krishna prema is eternal and is perfect. It is never to be attained. And in the pure mind, Shravana and the rest. And in the pure mind, Shravana and the rest arise. This is a little bit confusing the way he's translated that. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunoi Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Koroe Udoy. So Krishna Prem is not something to be attained. It is simply revealed and awakened by the practice of Shravana, etc. This sadhana bhakti is of 2 kinds. One is Vaidhi bhakti, and the other is Raganuga bhakti. People without raga worship according to the injunctions of the Shastras. This is called Vaidhi bhakti. And all the Shastras celebrate it. In the Bhagavad it is said, therefore, O Bharata, if moksha is desired, Bhagavan Hari, the soul of all, Ishvara, should be praised and celebrated and meditated on. And he's missed the clause of that verse, to be free from fear. And that's why he's quoting it, because this kind of worship is motivated by fear. Again in the Bhagavad, By means of the gunas, each of the four varnas, twice born and the rest, are born respectively from the mouth, arms, thighs, and feet of the Purusha, together with the ashrams. Those among them who do not worship the Ishvara Purusha as their own fathers and despise him are hurled from their own places and fall below. You may remember this has already been quoted. Again, from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vishnu is always to be remembered and should never be forgotten. All the injunctions and prohibitions of the Shastras are servants of these two. Sadhana Bhakti is of various parts and is widely diffused. Let me speak briefly of some of the essential parts of sadhana. Having refuge at the feet of the Guru, taking the Diksha mantra, serving the Guru, conversation and learning about true Dharma, and following along the way of sadhus, abandonment of enjoyment in love for Krishna, dwelling at the pilgrimage places of Krishna, acceptance only of what is necessary for living, fasting on the Ekadashi, the worship of Datri and Ashwata trees, cows, Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and renunciation and keeping at a distance the offenses to Nam and Seva. One should not take too many pupils. One should avoid association with non-Vaishnavas and should renounce commentary and concern with art and with many books. One should consider loss and gain as the same and not be conquered by grief and such. Nor should one condemn other Shastras and other gods. One should not listen to reviling of Vishnu or of Vaishnavas, nor to idle gossip, nor give anxiety in mind or word to any living thing. Listening, praise, remembering, worship, obeisance, service, servanthood, friendship, and self-dedication, singing and dancing before the image, vigyapti and prostration before it, elevation of the image, following the image and going to pilgrimage places, circumambulation, the recitation of praises, japa and sankirtana, incense and perfume and garlands, and the eating of Mahaprasada, observing the arati, the great festivals, and having darshana of the holy image, the giving of that which is dear to one, meditation and service of that which is his. That which is his is Tulsi, Vaishnavas, Mathura, and the Bhagavat. Service of these four is desired by Krishna, and dedication of all efforts to Krishna, the witnessing of his grace, and celebration with the bhaktas of his birthday and other great festivals, in all things taking refuge in him, and the observation of the Kartika and other vratas. These 64 parts are the highest greatness. Association with sadhus, Nam Kirtana, listening to the Bhagavat, dwelling at Mathura, and the service in faith of the sacred image. These 5 are the best of all the sadhanas, and the merest association with these 5, Krishna Prema, is born. And I shall let someone else take over from there.
Well, that was stupendous. What can I say? I think we were all totally enthralled. Are you sure you want to stop?
Well, yeah, I better let somebody else, probably Dina wants to have a go, Guna wants to have a go. Rahul, where's Rahul gone?
I don't know. Is he
Oh,
there?
he's disappeared.
Yeah, it's late for him. So the only person really there is Dina. Does Dina want to read or not? Is he
Well,
up?
let me finish the chapter. There's only a little bit to go,
Oh,
and then Dina can take up chapter 23.
okay.
How's that? Is that okay? Okay. So, what were the 5 things? The 5 things of most importance. Association with sadhus, Nam Kirtana, listening to the Bhagavat, dwelling at Mathura, and the service in faith of the sacred image. These 5 are the best of all sadhus, and in the merest association with these 5, Krishna Prema is born. And so it said in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, love in the service of the holy feet of the holy image, with special faith, delighting with rasikas in the content and name of the Bhagavat, as content and name of the Bhagavat, association with a sadhu whose type of loving nature is better than one's own, praising of the name, living in the area of Mathura. And again in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, these five are heard to know and of wondrous power. Let there be faith in the five, for even the slightest relationship with them leads to the rise of bhava in the hearts of the good. Some follow one anga, some follow many angas, and if they are firm, the wave of prema rises up. Many bhaktas gain perfection through one anga, and so it is said, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Parikshit by listening about Vishnu, Vyasaki by kirtan, Prahlad by remembering, Lakshmi by serving his feet, Prithu by puja, Akrura by obeisance, Kapipati, Hanuman, by being a servant, Arjuna by friendship, and Bali by total dedication of self, were fulfilled. All of them gained Krishna in the highest way. Ambarisha and others were bhaktas who followed several branches. And so it is said in the Bhagavad, he employed his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, his speech in descriptions of the qualities of Vaikuntha, his hands in cleansing, etc., the temple of Hari, his ears in purifying words about Achyuta, his eyes in the sight of the place and the image of Mukunda, his own limbs touching the bodies of his servants, his nose in the fragrance of the touch of his lotus feet, his tongue with that which had been offered to Krishna with the tulsi, his feet on following the path of Hari, his head with obeisance to the feet of Rishikesh, and his desires, not desires for worldly things, in servitude, and from it came love for him of highest fame. He abandoned karma and worshipped Krishna, honoring the instructions of the Shastras. If this is done, there is never any debt to the devas or the rishis or to ancestors, etc. And so it is said in the Bhagavad, O king, he who abandons the performance of duties and in all things makes Mukunda his refuge, has no debt to devas, rishis, bhutas, men, and ancestors, and is no servant. He who abandons the dharma of injunctions and worships the feet of Krishna, there is never in his mind wrong or forbidden actions. If, because of ignorance, an evil deed occurs, Krishna makes him pure, and he does not do penance. And so it is said in the Bhagavad, if a bad action is done by a beloved one who has abandoned his passion for others, who is a worshipper of his own lotus feet, the Supreme Lord Hari enters his heart and destroys it all. Knowledge and renunciation are never parts of bhakti. So in the Bhagavad it is said, thus, for the yogin who has me as his soul and is absorbed in bhakti for me, neither knowledge nor renunciation are generally beneficial. Self-control and regulation accompany the Krishna bhaktas, and it is said in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, all your qualities, ahimsa and the rest, are not to be wondered at. He who is occupied with Hari Bhakti is not violent toward others. So this is the description of Vaidhi Bhakti sadhana. Now here, O Sanatana, the signs of Raganuga Bhakti. Ragatmika Bhakti was primary among those who dwelt in Braja, and because of that, the name Raganuga Bhakti comes. And so it is said in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, deepest absorption spontaneously in the desired object is raga, and the bhakti which is full of that is here called ragatmika. Deep longing for the desired object is raga. This is its swarupa sign. Absorption in the desired object, this is its tatashta sign. That means inherent sign and marginal sign. The name of bhakti filled with raga is ragatmika. Hearing that, certain fortunate people become greedy for it, and in their greed they follow the bhava of the dwellers of Braja. They do not honor the injunctions of the Shastras, for their nature is that of Raganuga. And so in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu it is said that Ragatmika Bhakti, which is followed, the one displayed clearly among those who dwelt in Braja, etc., that is called Raganuga. And again, from the same, if the sweetness of the various bhavas is heard, the wise man does not depend on the Shastras or logic. This is the sign of the arising of longing. This sadhana has two parts, external and internal. External is the performance of Shravana and Kirtana with the body of the sadhaka. In their minds, these sadhakas mentally construct their own perfected bodies, and day and night they serve Krishna in Braja. And it is said, though in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, those sadhakas who are greedy for the bhava of them by the body and by the perfected body necessarily serve him and his companions in Brajaloka. Following after one who is beloved of Krishna in the bhava which is longed for by the self, in their inner minds they serve him eternally. And again in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he, remembering Krishna, his beloved people, and that which is most beloved of him, and devoted to the stories of those various things, should always dwell in Braja. The servants, friends, fathers, etc., and lovers, all these bhavas are counted in Raga Marga. The Bhagavad, it is said, I am of those who are attached to me, beloved soul, son, friend, beloved soul, son, friend, guru, intimate, Ishtadeva, and in Shanta Rupa, they are never without that which is to be enjoyed, nor are they destroyed by my wheel of time. And again in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, those who zealously meditate on Hari with constant attention and consider him husband, son, intimate friend, brother, and father, or like a friend, I bow to them as of now. In this way are those who have Raganuga Bhakti, and their love arises towards the feet of Krishna. The sprout of love is Rati and Bhava. These are the two names of it. And from it, Sri Bhagavan is controlled. That from which the loving service of Krishna is gained has been described as Abhideya. Those who hear this Abhideya of the sadhana bhakti quickly gain the wealth of prema of Krishna. Krishna Das, whose hope and faith lie at the feet of Rupa and Raghunatha, tells of the nectar of the acts of Chaitanya, the Chaitanya Charitamrta.
Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad. Over to you, Dina.
Begin. Thank you, Madanji. That was beautiful. So beautiful. Now we begin Madhya Lila, chapter 23, Shloka 1. I take refuge. Oh, so Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya. Oh, no, that's next. Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadadaya Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Shloka 1. I take refuge in that light-colored Krishna of greatest generosity who has distributed to all people, even the lowliest, the nectar of the name, his own praying, wealth hidden by himself and undistributed for a long time. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Glory, glory to Gaura Chandra, glory to Nityananda, glory to Advaita Chandra and the hosts of Gaura Bhaktas. Chaitanya continues. Now hear the fruits of bhakti, praying, the prayojana. Who hears it gains knowledge of bhakti ras. When rati to Krishna is deep, it is called praying. This is the name of the sthai bhav of Krishna bhakti ras. Quoting Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 131. The essence of the characteristics of purity and truth is like the rays of the sun of the form of praying. And by means of its rays, it accomplishes the coolness of the mind. This is called bhava. End of quote. These two are the swarup and the tatastha signs of bhava. Now hear, O Sanatan, the signs of prema. Quoting Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1412. That bhav by which one's nature is completely softened, marked by an excess of possessiveness, soaking the soul, the wise call prema. End of quote. And then quoting Narad Pancha Ratra. Bhishma, Prahlad, Uddhava, and Narad call bhakti a possessiveness, an incomparable possessiveness, prema, attachment to Vishnu. End of quote. If by some fortune some jivas have faith, then those jivas associate with the holy men. From association with holy men, listening and praising arises, and in sadhana bhakti, all evil is eradicated. From the eradication of evil is firmness in bhakti. From firmness, the appetite for listening, and the rest is born. From these appetites comes deep attachment to bhakti. And from this attachment, the sprout of love for Krishna is born in the mind. When that bhava is deep, it has the name prema. That prema is the prayojana, the place of all bliss. Quoting Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first chapter, first wave, fourth chapter, 15 to 16 verses. First there is faith, and after that association with holy men, then the performance of worship. And as a result of that, the slowing off of all evil things. When that happens, nishta comes about, and then appetite, and then attachment, and then bhava, and then prema arises. This is the order in which prema gradually appears in the sadhaks. Such tales, full of the knowledge of my greatness, are heard from the exalted company of holy men, and are portions to my heart and the ear. By cultivating such discourse, Shraddha, Rati, and Prema Bhakti will quickly proceed on the way to the highest bliss. End of quote. In whose heart this sprout of bhav appears, these are the signs of him. So all the Shastras say. Quoting Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first chapter, first wave, third chapter, 25-26 verse. Tranquility, effective use of time, asceticism, humility, hope, eagerness, zeal in singing of the name, attachment, love for the description of the qualities of him, love for his dwelling places, and the rest. All these anubhavas are born in one who has the sprout of bhav. End of quote. He who has in his mind these 9 sprouts of love has no grief, disappointments in material things. Quoting Bhagavad Purana 1:19-15. O Brahmanas, you and the goddess Ganga must promise to visit me. Who has taken refuge in and whose mind is firmly fixed on Isha, may the trickery sent by the twice-born come, and let Tataksha bite me. Only sing me the songs of Vishnu. Quote. Except for relationship to Krishna, time does not pass. Quoting Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:329. Praising with constant speech, remembering with the mind, making obeisance with the body, and even then not satisfied. True bhaktas, weeping, present the whole span of their lives to Hari alone. End of quote. He does not like enjoyment, supernatural power, and the objects of the senses. Quoting Bhagavad Purana 5:14-43. He, exalted, ardent for the illustrious one, even while a youth, abandoned like dirt his friends and kingdom, and his wife and son, which are dear to his heart, hard to leave. End of quote. The best among men considers himself as lowly. Quoting Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:333. This one, always quote from Padma Purana, this one, who was the crest jewel of kings, carried away with Rati for Hari, went to beg in the cities of his enemies and bowed down to the Swapakas, which means the low class or people who eat dog meat, apparently. End of quote. He knows profoundly that Krishna will have mercy. Quoting Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:335. No prema or Shravana Bhakti or the rest, or attachment to Vaishnavas, or knowledge, or any good karma, or even have high birth have I, still, O lover of the gopis, my hope in you, who fulfills the needy, gives me pain, its root being uncuttable. End of quote. Samutkanta has as its chief characteristics constant yearning. Lila Suks, Krishna Charitamrta 132. If you would know that your childhood is most wonderful in all the 3 worlds, then you would know my weakness, as I know it, and would tell me how I can see with these 2 eyes your beautiful lotus face, graced with the playing of the flute. End of quote. He always has a desire to sing his name, and he takes the name of Krishna. Quoting Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:338. O Govinda, the girl whose voice is sweet, and whose lotus eyes flow with the honey of teardrops, today sings all your names. End of quote. He is always attached to the expounding of the qualities of Krishna. Quoting Lila Suk's Krishna Karanamrita. The body of the Lord is sweet of the sweet. His face is the sweet of the sweet of the sweet. I get that right? Yeah. And his gentle honey fragrant smile is the sweet of the sweet of the sweet of the sweet. End of quote. He always dwells in the place of Krishna Lila, quoting Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:156. O lotus-eyed one, when shall I dance on the bank of the Jamuna, singing your names in praise, with tears trickling down? End of quote. Thus have the signs of Krishna Rati been described. Now hear, O Sanatan, the signs of Krishna Prema, in whose mind Krishna Prema rises. His speech and actions and gestures are not understood by the uninitiated. quoting Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.4.17, in whose mind this new prema arises, this fortunate man's gestures, even wise men will find difficult to fully understand. End of quote. Quoting Bhagavat Purana 11.2.40. The man thus aroused, his affection inspired by his own Nam Sankirtana, with spinning thoughts like a madman, transported beyond the world of men, sometimes laughs out loud, sometimes weeps, sometimes cries out, and sometimes sings and dances. End of quote. Prem grows gradually. Sneha, man, pranaya, rag, anurag, bhav, and mahabhav. Like seed cane juice, Gouda and then Kanda and Sara, Sharka, Sita, Mishri, and Shuddha Mishri. That's describing the different stages of refinement of sugar. As it is gradually purified, the flavor gradually increases, and just so, the flavor increases through rati, prem, and the rest. Rati has 5 main divisions: Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya Rati. These 5 Staibhavas become 5 rasas, and by the rasa which is pleasing to the bhakta, Krishna is controlled. Prema and the other Staibhavas, all mixed together, finally gain the swarup of Krishna Bhakti Ras. Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvika, and Vyabhachari, when these 4 are mixed, the Staibhava becomes a rasa. As when curd is mixed with sugar, black pepper, and camphor, the ras which results is called rasala, wonderful to taste. There are 2 kinds of vibhava, alambana and udipana. The tune of the flute, etc., these are the udipanas. And Krishna, etc., are the alambanas. Reference there, tune of the flute, etc., all these things which remind one of Krishna, smiles, the flute and its sound, the nupura ankles, the conch, footprints, tulsi, etc. The alambanas are Krishna and the Krishna Bhakta. The tune of the flute, etc., these are the udipanas, and Krishna, etc., are the alambanas. Anubhavas are smile, dance, song, etc., clearly manifested, and stupa, etc., are the sattvikas, and are within the anubhavas. Vyabhacharis are 33, indifference, delight, etc. All of these mixed together make one most wonderful rasa. Rasa is of 5 kinds: Santa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Madhura called Sringara, which is the most powerful of all. In Shanta Rasa, Shanta Rati develops up to Prema. In Dasya Rati, gradually it grows up to Raga. Sakya and Vatsalya gain the limit of Anuraga. The greatness of the Prem of Subal and others is up to Bhav. There are 2 divisions of Shanta and other rasas, Yoga and Viyoga. In Sakya and Vatsalya, there are many divisions of Yoga, etc. And only in Madhura, there are Rudha and Adi-Rudha Bhavs. Rudha was of the Mahishis, the queens of Dwarka and Mathura, while Adi-Rudha appeared among the Gopikas of Vrindavan. Adi-Rudha Mahabhav is of 2 kinds, and their names are Madana, enjoyment, and Mohana, in the pain of separation. Of Madana, there are infinite varieties, kissing, etc., and There are two kinds of mohana, Udgurna and Chitrajalpa. Chitrajalpa has 10 parts, and their names are Prajalpa, Chitrajalpa, Prajalpa, etc. The proof of them is in the 10 shlokas of the Brahmara Gita. Udgurna is when all efforts are paralyzed and is called divine madness. It is when in Viraha Krishna appears, or when the self is considered as Krishna. Sambhoga and Vipralamba are two kinds of Shringara. Sambhoga is endless in kinds. There is no limit to it. Vipralamba is of 4 kinds. Purvaraga, Man, Pravasakya, and Prema Vaichitya. Among Radha and the others, Purvaraga, Pravas, and Man were well known, and Prem Vaichitya among the Mahisis in the Holy 10th Book, quoting Bhagavat Purana 1090:15. Oh Kurari, Ishvara is hiding, sleeping in the nighttime somewhere in the world. You are sleepless and not lying down, and are lamenting endlessly. Oh friend, are you ever not deeply wounded in your mind by the playful, sidelong glance, made richer by his smile and lotus eyes, as we are? End of quote. Krishna, the Brajendra Nandana, is the crest jewel of Nayakas, and the crest jewel of the Nayakas is Radha Thakurani, quoting Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2:117. Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan, is the crest jewel among Nayakas, in whom all great qualities are eternally displayed. Quoting, end of quote, quote from the Brihad Gautamiya Tantra. Shri Radha is said to be Devi, Krishna Mai, Para Devata, Sava Lakshmi Mai, Sarvakanti, and the highest Sanmohini. End of quote. The qualities of Krishna are infinite, but 64 are primary. Let the ear of the Bhakta listen and be refreshed as I list these qualities one by one. Quoting Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu from verses 24 to 31. Oh, sorry, from 23 to 30. He, the Nayaka, is most attractive in body and imbued with all auspicious signs, lustrous, glorious, very strong, eternally young, skilled in various wonderful languages, truthful, sweetly spoken, eloquent, most learned, wise, intelligent, skilled, clever, dexterous, grateful, most resolute in vows, knowing the right recipients in time and space, having the insight of Shastras, pure, controlled, steady, continent, forgiving, grave, steadfast, viewing all things as equal, generous, following Dharma, a hero in war, compassionate, respectful to those worthy of respect, good-natured, humble, modest, protector of refugees, happy, a friend to bhaktas, controlled by prema, doing good things to all, powerful, famous, the object of the passion of all, a refuge for holy men, a charmer of women, to be propitiated by all, prosperous, the greatest of all. Ishvara, these qualities of him, are enumerated. The 50 qualities of Hari cannot be fathomed, for they are like the sea. Even though all these exist among some jivas, it is only drop by drop, They are manifested fully in Purushottam. Quoting Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, verses 37, 40 to 44. These 5 qualities exist in very small parts among Girisha, Mahadev, and others. He is perpetually in Swarup, omniscient, eternally young, whose body is soaked with Satchit and Ananda and worshipped by all the cities. And there are 5 more qualities mentioned which the Lord of Lakshmi and others possess, but which exist most wonderfully in Krishna. Great power, which is unimaginable, Vigrahas in crores of Brahma worlds, the seed of the series of avatars, giving the course to those whose foes are killed, an attraction of those who are Atmaramas. He who is in all ways like a sea of waves of most wonderful and surprising Lila, who decorates with prem of unequaled sweetness those who are beloved of him, who attracts the minds of the 3 worlds by the soft melody, the sweetness of his flute, by the unparalleled height of whose form all creatures, moving and unmoving, are astonished. These 4, Lila Madhurya, Prema Madhurya, Venu Madhurya, and Rupa Madhurya, are the uncommon qualities of Krishna. These 4 qualities are not in any other Swarup. In this way, in 4 kinds of divisions, have the 64 qualities been mentioned. The qualities of Sri Radhika are infinite, but 25 are primary, and Bhagavan Krishna is controlled by these qualities, quoting Rupa Goswami's Ujjwala Nilamani 4:11-15. Of the mistress of Vrindavan, these principal qualities are mentioned. She is sweet, young, has a restless sidelong glance, a glistening smile, possessed of lines of beauty and good luck, of a fragrance maddening to Madhava, skilled in a multitude of songs, of charming speech, learned in pleasure, humble, full of compassion, skillful, witty, modest, most respectful, steadfast, grave, excelling in pleasurable sport, thirsty for the supreme excellence of the great bhavas, beloved by those who live in Gokul, whose fame pervades the world, most beloved by Guru and elders, subservient to the love of her friends, chief among those beloved of Krishna, and to whose words Keshava is respectful. In short, her qualities are counted like Hari's. These 2, the Nayaka and the Nayika, are the alambana of rasa. These 2 are the best, Radha and Brajendranandana. In this way, the servant in the Dasya, friends in the Sakya, mother and father in the Vatsalya, and the Ashraya alambanas, as these are bhaktas, and so do they experience these rasas, hear the signs of them. Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 7-10. Those whose thoughts are cleansed by bhakti, and whose hearts are pure and bright, and are attracted to Sri Bhagavat, and are delighted by the society of rasikas, and whose wealth is their happiness with bhakti at the feet of Govinda, which are their lives, and who observe the duties which are the internal elements of prem. In the hearts of all such bhaktas is rati, blazing brightly, with the samskar, jugal, and the rati in the form of Anand, brought to the state of rasa. On the way to the experience of this rati, the taste of the vibhavas of Krishna, the rest are gained, and the pinnacle of the wonder of the profound Ananda is gained. Was that a quote? The taste of this rasa is not for people who are non-bhaktas. Krishna bhaktas taste the ras. Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 25131. This rasa of the Bhagavat can never in any way be gained by non-bhaktas. Those bhaktas whose wealth is his lotus feet taste this bhakti ras. End of quote. Briefly, the prayojana has been described. This is the fifth end of man, the wealth of Krishna Prem, or the Param Purusha Artha. Formerly at Prayag, I discussed rasa and inspired your brother Rupa with power to discuss it. You too must discourse on Bhakti Ras and save the lost pilgrimage places at Mathura. Do the service of Krishna at Vrindavan, which is proper action for the Vaishnava, and expound on the Bhakti and Smriti Shastras. You have been taught all about the state of proper Vairagya and about the prohibitions of knowledge and barren Vairagya. Quoting Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 12255. When non-attached people make moderate acceptance of worldly objects and employ them in relationship to Krishna, this is properly called Jukta Vairagya. End of quote. Then quoting from Bhagavad Gita 12:13-20. Who has malice towards none, only affection for living things? Who is compassionate, devoid of egotism, is not conceited or proud, who is unaffected by either pleasure or pain, and endures all things, always content, who is attached to bhakti yoga, who has conquered his senses, and who is firm in his certainty, and who has dedicated his heart and mind to me. Such a bhakta is beloved of me. From whom people gain no anxiety, and who is not anxious about people, and who is free from joy, grief, fear, and anxiety, he is beloved of me. He who depends on no one is pure, skillful, independent, and indifferent, without grief, who has abandoned the beginnings of all. That bhakta is dear to me. He who is not delighted nor pained, who is not grieved, and who does not long, and who has abandoned both auspicious and inauspicious deeds, that devoted man is dear to me. He who views as the same both enemies and friends, honor and dishonor, cold and heat, happiness and sorrow, who is unattached, who considers the same both condemnation and praise, who is silent, who is satisfied with anything, has no permanent abode, and who is steadfast of mind, that man is dear to me. Thus I have spoken, and they who observe the nectar of Dharma have stated, believing and devoted to me, these bhaktas are beloved of me. End of quote. Then quoting from the Bhagavat Purana 225. Are there not always indigents wearing rags along the road? Do not trees give alms of fruit to the freeloading cuckoos? Are not the rivers flowing? Does not the unborn one grant the favor of shelter to those who draw near? Why then would the selfish, blinded in their foolish pursuit of worldly prosperity, honor Krishna? End of quote. Then Sanatan questioned him about all the doctrines. Prabhu spoke of every one of the conclusions derived from the Bhagavad Purana. The place of Golok has been described in the Harivamsa when Indra came and offered his praise of Sri Krishna. The episode of the clubs and the death of Krishna, the Keshava avatar, and many other unusual stories. The abduction of the Mahishis and all others that were the effects of Maya. These tales were taught so as to be properly interpreted. Then Sanatan grasped Prabhu's feet and, clenching grass between his teeth, begged of him, I am low of birth, a lowly servant, an ignorant wretch. Yet you have imparted doctrinal instruction which is beyond even the ken of Brahma. My intelligence is trifling, while this doctrine is an ocean of immortal nectar. My mind is not able to fathom even a single drop of it. If your mind can make a lame man dance, place your feet on my head and grant me this boon. May all of that which I have been taught be illuminated in your mind. From this boon will I draw the power to speak. Then Mahaprabhu did place his feet on his head and preferred the boon. May all these things be illuminated in you. In brief has been described the subject of Prayojana, praying. Only Prabhu's grace keeps me from rambling on. He who hears the nectar of this instruction of Prabhu is quickly mingled with the wealth of Krishna Prem. I, Krishna Das, whose hope and faith lie at the feet of Rupa and Raghunath, tells of the nectar of the accents. The Chaitanya Charitamrta. Jai Ho.
Jai Ho, that was beautiful.
What
Wow.
about that? That was really funny, huh? When he said, "Only the mercy of Prabhu keeps me from rambling on." Radhe Shyam. Well, should we start on the Atmarama verse?
Oh,
Now, 61 explanations of the Atmarama verse.
Should I stop recording now?
What?
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. We've got more to go. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah.
Should I do a bit of Atmarama verse?
Let's have a bit of Atmarama.
That's chapter 24.
I'll tell you one thing, a personal anecdote. The most sublime psychedelic experience I ever had in my life, in Pokhara on magic mushrooms. As I sat for 8 hours in samadhi, and the word that kept going through me was Atmarama.
Oh, Atmaramo Bhavani.
Because at that moment, I felt completely self-satisfied at that moment, and I didn't need anything from outside. I was completely satisfied. It was just one of the highest moments I ever had, the deepest samadhi, sitting by a lake. It's like the perfect. And it was so powerful that I started doing sadhana, chanting japa, went to Brindavan, and ended up in Bangladesh after that. It was a very big one.
I wonder if Guna's there.
Yes, you heard me. Yeah.
Oh, do you want to read Guna?
I can't put my video on because the host has disabled it.
Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not.
The host.
Yes, thank you.
Little darling, it's been a
All right, you better read Guna, but let me chant the shloka as it comes.
Okay, I'm going to get off the video.
Atmarameti padyartha syartan sundya prakashayan jagattamo jaharavyat sa chaitanyodayachalaha. There you go.
So would you like me to continue reading Madhya Lila chapter 24?
Start reading it.
But can you just chanted the Sanskrit? You've got to explain what that meant, please, before we go.
Well, that's what she's gonna read.
Oh, the direct translation of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Haribol, Jai Guna. Lovely. Your video looks a little blurry. Is it my eyes or what?
Yeah, I think it's your eyes.
You sure the camera? Maybe you should get a bit of cloth and just clean this thingy.
Don't forget, you stop at 9 o'clock. So
Okay.
keep your eye on the clock.
Haribol, Jai Nitai Gaura Haribol.
Sloka 1. He who, manifesting the sunbeams of meaning of the sun and the Atmaram, Shloka, dispelled the darkness of the world. May that Uday mountain, that Chaitanya, protect us. Glory, glory to Sri Chaitanya, glory to Nityananda, glory to Advaita Chandra, and to the hosts of Gaura Bhaktas. Then Sanatana, holding the feet of Prabhu, again said humbly, I have heard that previously, at the place of Sarvabhauma, you expanded to 18 meanings, one single shloka. Shloka 2. Even though they are not possessed of books, those sages who delight in the self offer selfless bhakti to the great striding Vishnu of such qualities is Hari, from Bhagavat Purana 1.7.10. Hearing this, my mind is anxious with wonder if, being merciful, you speak, my ears will be refreshed. Prabhu said, I am mad in my words, and Sarvabhauma is mad, so he considered them true. I was babbling, and remember nothing of it. If anything comes to my mind, it is because of association with you. No meaning comes to me naturally, but something may manifest itself because of association with all of you. There are 11 padas in this most pure shloka, and in each pada, various meanings glitter. In the word Atma is Brahma, body, mind, effort, patience, intellect, and nature. These 7 meanings are found. Shloka 3. Atma means body, mind, Brahma, nature, patience, intellect, and effort. From Vishva Prakash. He who experiences delight in these 7, he is Atmaram. Later, I shall enumerate the Atmaramas. Listen, O Sanatana, to the meanings of the words Muni, etc. First their separate meanings, and later all taken together. By the word Muni is meant one who is given to the mind, and one who is silent. And Muni means also ascetic, Vrati, sannyasi, and rishi. By the word Nirgranta is meant he who is without the books of ignorance, one who is bereft of the Gyan, etc., of the Veda Shastras, and of their prohibitions and injunctions. Fools, low people, mlechas, and others devoid of Shastra, those who seek wealth, and those who are without wealth, are also Nirgranta. Shloka 4. The meanings of Nir are certainty, going out, manufacture, and prohibition or negative. From Vishva Prakash.
Can I just interrupt you just to say,
Yeah.
it says that Atmarama means without books. It doesn't mean it's not books, it's bonds. But they've made a mistake there.
What should the word be?
Bonds.
Bonds of ignorance.
Yeah, they are liberated from the bonds of ignorance,
Okay.
not books.
He who is without the bonds of ignorance. Yeah, thank you. That makes more sense. Shloka 5 from Vishva Prakash. The meanings of Granta are wealth, weaving, and the alphabet. 15. The word Urukram means he whose steps are very large, and the word krama means a progression of steps. Power, trembling, regularity, method, and invasion in power, for at his footsteps the 3 worlds trembled. Shloka 6. That clever man who is able to count even the particles of dust of the earth, can even he measure the power of Vishnu, who by his own effort, unhindered, held the 3 worlds, which shook wildly, because of the power of his striding, from their state of equilibrium of the three gunas. Bhagavat Purana 2740. In the form of Vibhu, the vast one, he pervades everything, and with his power he upholds and nourishes Goloka by his Madhurya Shakti, and Paravyoma by his Aishvarya Shakti. By his Maya Shakti, he creates the Brahma eggs, etc., in order. These are the determined meanings of the word Urukram. Shloka 7. Kram means Shakti, order, shaking and trembling. From Vishva Prakash. The word Kravanti is here Parashmaipada and says the purpose in worship is the arising of the pleasure of Krishna. Shloka 8. In the Bhavadi Prakrana of the Siddhanta Kaumudi, there are active and passive voices. When the fruits of the action are directed towards the doer of the action, the voice is passive. From Panini's Ashtadhyayi. The word hetu means that enjoyment and the other desires of the heart are of three primary kinds: enjoyment, siddhi, and mukti. And bhakti means enjoyment is of infinite kinds, siddhi is of 18 kinds, and mukti is of 5. Who does not strive for these? He has ahituki bhakti, and by that the sport of Sri Krishna is controlled. The meaning of the word bhakti has 10 different forms. One is sadhana, and prem bhakti has 9 varieties. The signs of rati and of prem and the rest have been stated, and the form of bhav and the form of the signs of mahabhav. The rati of the shanta bhakta grows up to prem, and the rati of the dasa bhakta has it as its ultimate condition raga. The rati of the sakya is up to anurag, the affection of mother and father, and the rest is the end of anurag. The rati of the lovers reaches the limit of mahabhav. These all are the greatness of the meanings of the term bhakti. Hear the explanation of the meanings of the compound word itam bhutaguna. There are various meanings of the word itam and others of the word guna. The meaning of the word itam bhuta is filled with full ananda, before which the ananda of Brahma is like grass. Shloka 9. O Guru of the world, for me who has been established in the pure sea of the joy of the realization of your true form, even that happiness of dwelling in the place of Brahma is like a tiny puddle of water in the imprint of a cow's hoof. From Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He is the attractor of all, the delighter of all, possessor of great rasa. He makes one oblivious of everything by his own power. By the suggestion of it, he causes people to abandon the happiness of bhukti, siddhi, and mukti. The mercy of Krishna binds. By the qualities of unworldly power, this determination of the ultimate goal is not dependent on the Shastras, but in it, by its natural qualities, is the essence of sweetness. The meaning of the word guna is the infinite qualities of Krishna. These are the qualities of his form, of sat and chit, as well as full ananda. His Svarup is the fullness of divinity, sweetness, and compassion, and generosity even up to the giving of himself in his affection toward his Bhaktas. His qualities of rupa, rasa, glory, and the rest are unworldly, and the minds of certain ones are attracted by certain of the qualities. By the qualities of glory and the rest, the minds of Sanaka and the others were stolen. Shloka 10. The wind, bearing the perfume of the tulsi, mingled with the perfume of the lotus feet of that lotus-eyed one, enters the orifices and agitates the minds and bodies of those who are Akshara Jushas. The mind of Shukadev, that was Bhagavat Purana 3:15-43. The mind of Shukadev was stolen by listening to the Leelas. Shloka 11. O Raja Rishi, even firmly established in qualitylessness, the mind is attracted to the Leelas of the most praiseworthy one, and I have learned the stories of them. Bhagavat Purana 2:19. And Shloka 12. I bow down to that son of Vyasa, the destroyer of all evil, whose mind was full of happiness, because of his having put other barbs away, and whose essence was attracted by the beauty of the Leela of Ajita, and who has spoken compassionately of these in the Purana, like a lamp of truth. Bhagavat Purana 12:69. By the form of the holy body, the hearts of the gopis are stolen. Shloka 13. Seeing your cheeks adorned with earrings, and your lips with nectar, and your face adorned with earlocks, and your smiling glance, seeing your staff-like arms as fear-dispelling, and your unequalled shining breast, we become your slaves. Bhagavat Purana 10:29-39. By hearing the qualities of his beauty of form, Rukmini and the others were attracted. Shloka 14. O you who are most handsome in the worlds, on hearing of the virtues of you, who takes away the anguish of the bodies of listeners by way of the holes of the ears, where you have penetrated, and on hearing of your beauty, which is the acquisition of all ends of the eyes, of those who have eyes, my heart is shamelessly driven towards you, Achyuta. Bhagavat Purana 10:52-37. By the sound of the flute, the minds of Lakshmi and the others are stolen. Shloka 15. O God, who has the authority, the right to touch your feet, out of delight for which the playful Shri performed strict austerities for a long time, abandoning her pleasure. Bhagavat Purana 10:16-36. All the young women in the world are, each in their appropriate barbs. Shloka 16. O Anga, is there any woman in the three worlds who, infatuated by the soft and warbling song of your flute, and, having seen this form of yours, which is the lustre of the three worlds, and by which the cows, birds, trees, and beasts of the forests are thrilled, does not depart from proper action? Bhagavat Purana 10:29-40. Shall I end there?
You still got some time.
Yeah, okay, I'll carry on.
You've got like
In Vatsalya, older women are attracted. Men and the rest are in the Dasya Sakya and the other barbs. Birds, deer, trees, creepers, things both conscious and unconscious, are drunk with praying and are attracted by the qualities of Krishna. Shloka 17. Having seen this form of yours, which is the lustre of the three worlds, and by which the cows, birds, trees, and beasts of the forests are thrilled, is there anyone who does not depart from proper action? Bhagavat Purana. The word Hari has many meanings, and two are chief: that which steals away inauspiciousness, and that which steals the mind by prema. He who remembers him in any way whatsoever, he steals away his four kinds of sin. Shloka 18. O Uddhava, as fire of plentiful flames reduces wood to ashes, so bhakti to me burns all these sins completely. Bhagavat Purana. So he does to avidya and karma, which obstruct bhakti, and reveals prema as the fruit of listening and the rest. So by his own qualities, he steals mind, senses, and body. Such is Krishna, full of mercy. Such are his qualities. He causes one to abandon the four ends of man, and by his qualities steals the hearts of all. Thus are the signs of the principal meanings of the word Hari. Cha'api. These two words are indeclinable. They mean whatever is appropriate. Still, the principal meanings of cha are 7. Shloka 19. Cha has the sense of successive connection, totality, identification, addition, alternative, verse filler, and emphasis. From Vishvaprakash. The chief meanings of api are also 7. Shloka 20. Possibility, question, doubt, blame, addition, conjoined meanings, and interjection. From Vishvaprakash. The meanings of these 11 words have been ascertained. Now let me give the meanings of the shloka in whatever ways are appropriate. The word Brahma means the truth, which is the greatest of all. Nothing is equal to the divinity of its Svarup. Shloka 21. They know the Supreme as Brahman because of its largeness and supporting powers. From Vishnu Purana. So the word Brahma says Svayam Bhagavan, and apart from this, there is no other object in the 3 times. Shloka 22. The truth-knowing wise men call the ultimate truth that which is undivided knowledge. It is called by 3 names: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. From Bhagavat Purana. That undivided truth is that Krishna is Svayam Bhagavan. That is true in the 3 times, and that is proven in the Shastras. Shloka 23. Knowledge, such as of how much I am, what I am like, and of what form, virtue, and acts are mine. Such knowledge of truth must be yours by my favour. I was in the beginning, there was nothing else, whether existent, non-existent, or beyond both. Afterwards, I am that which there is. I am the one who will remain. Bhagavat Purana. The word Atma therefore says, Krishna is the Svarup of greatness, all-pervading, omnipresent, the ultimate Svarup. Shloka 24. Because everything is strung upon him, At, and because he is a mother, Ma, the supreme Hari is called Atma. Sridhar Swami's Bhavati Dipika, commentary on Bhagavat Purana. The source of the gaining of Krishna is various kinds of sadhana, Gyan, Yoga, Bhakti. These are the signs of each of the three. By the three sadhanas, Bhagavan in his threefold Swarup, Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavat is manifested. Shloka 25. The truth-knowing wise men call the ultimate truth that which is undivided knowledge. It is called by three names, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. Bhagavat Purana. Although the words Brahma and Atma mean Krishna, in their specialized meanings they signify the unqualified one and the indwelling one. The unqualified Brahma is revealed by the Jnana Marg and the indwelling Svarup by the Yoga Marg. Raga Bhakti and Vidhi Bhakti are two kinds, and their manifestations are of two kinds, Svayam Bhagavatattva and Bhagavatattva. By Raga Bhakti, the Svayam Bhagavan in Vraj is gained. I feel I've met my time now.
Yeah, all right. Bhagavata